How to overcome your fears. Did you know that I used to struggle with crippling anxiety? Did you know that I would lay in the room, in my bed, with the drapes closed and hide because I was scared? And I don't even know what I was scared of. And did you know that all of this happened after I was a certified millionaire? Yeah, this is all true. I'm gonna tell you my real story on how I overcame my fears, and more importantly, how you can too. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, or you need to do it better, well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
In this video, I'm gonna share with you the real reason that you have fear and what you can do about it. I'm gonna share with you a simple 3-step process to feel any fear and still be able to do it anyway. And I'm gonna share with you my #1 trick to know if this fear is real or if it's something that you should stop and think about. So what is fear? Some people say that fear is false evidence that appears real, meaning that it's something that you think is scary, something that you think that you should be afraid of, but it's not real. But we all are human beings and we have fear for a reason. Obviously, some people call it our intuition or our inner knowing. And there are some times when we should feel a fear and we should stop, because as humans, we have an instinct. We do. We know when something is trying to harm us, and we have things inside of our bodies, inside of our minds that kind of just let us know when we should feel fear. However, as we start to get uncomfortable and we start to go towards being a millionaire or a billionaire, there are going to be things that are really unknown to us, and this will cause fear because you don't know what to do. There's a lot of risk involved. You may have to spend money, maybe even on ads, or go out there and tell people about your business, or go speak on stage or make videos. You're going to have to start doing something that makes you really uncomfortable, and this will cause fear. So let's talk about that for a second, because like I said, I really dealt with a lot of fears as I became a multi-millionaire, and more importantly, as I was quitting my full-time job to become a full-time entrepreneur. This was something that really scared me. It really brought out some real things in me, and I had to start getting educated on how to deal with my fear. So I'm gonna share with you in this video exactly some of the things that I learned and how you can start implementing them so you can become fearless. So the first thing that you wanna do is start to practice being uncomfortable. This is something that sounds crazy, but it is truly a practice. After a while of doing things that scare you, things that cause you fear, you will become stronger because you will become used to doing those things. So one of the things that my $1 million mentor taught me, and this is again when I was only making 6 figures and my mentor was making 7, she told me you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that this was a practice and a habit. So for example, she was telling me to start doing things that caused me to be uncomfortable and caused me fear. And one of those things, as you can imagine, was making YouTube videos. Oh yeah, think about this. Noel knows all of this information, and I was flipping houses and being successful, but I did not have a YouTube channel. I did not even have a big social media presence. I really was kind of introverted, and in a way, I was afraid of telling people what I did, how successful I had been, and telling people exactly what I did. I actually had this fear that I was gonna create competitors. Like, for example, if I teach you how to make money flipping houses, that somehow you would become my competition and I would have no houses to flip. Again, it is crazy. Usually what you are afraid of and what you have fear about is something that's probably not going to happen, or you're worried about some future that's probably not going to happen, because again, you create your future. So let's first talk about how you get comfortable being uncomfortable. Now, some of the things that I would do each day was just small things that kind of scared me. For example, I would post a video on social media and I would literally put the video out. I would not hesitate, I would not pause, I would just make the video and put it out, or make the post and put it out. And that was something that kind of scared me in the beginning, but as I did it more and more, it just became easier and easier. Another thing that she told me, and this really blew my mind on how to get stronger and more confident in myself, was she had me do this exercise where I would stand in front of the mirror completely naked, and I would go from my body from head to toe and talk about how I loved every single part. And I mean every single part. I love my hair, I love my eyebrows, I love my eyelashes, I love my pupils, I love my nipples, you know, just like really crazy, going from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, just standing there butt naked, saying how much I enjoyed different parts of my body. And this made me so much more confident because, again, it was a habit and I was practicing being confident. So let's keep going because I got some more tips for you because it is crazy. So let's talk about why I was afraid. So before I can really tell you some of the crazy stuff that I did, like walking on fire, walking on glass, getting baptized, let me share with you really quickly why I was so full of fear. Like I said, I started investing in real estate in 2001 and 2002. I was in my early 20s. I was living in Atlanta and I was flipping houses with a full-time job. I had no idea what I was really doing, but I was making money because the market was so forgiving. Properties were going up in value and I was able to make lots of money flipping houses with a full-time job and really having no idea what I was doing. So guess what happened? In 2008, 2009, when the market crashed, I lost everything. I lost my job. I ended up filing bankruptcy, multiple foreclosures, bad credit, just the worst situation ever. And I had to move back into my parents' basement in Connecticut. Like, it was awful. I was so embarrassed. So when I was down in my parents' basement, broke, bankrupt, bad credit, and so forth, licking my wounds, I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I literally was living in a house where, I went to high school at, and I just thought people were going to see me and judge me and say, oh, she has no college degree and she's such a loser and she got 3 kids, and I was embarrassed. But while I was in my parents' basement, I kind of just started going out. I started trying to learn real estate and just putting myself out there. I started going to free seminars and conferences to learn about real estate. And so once I started doing this real estate thing and I moved back to Atlanta, I ended up getting another full-time job and still just doing real estate on the side. But this time I was very successful in it and I was able to make $60,000, $100,000 a year on the side with my real estate. But I was afraid to quit my job because I had been in my parents' basement with bankruptcies and bad credits and everybody telling me how terrible and how much I had messed things up. I did not want to do real estate full time. I did not want to put myself out there full time, and I surely did not want to tell people I was flipping houses again after they already knew that I ended up in my parents' basement. So just think about all of this craziness that's going on and all of these stories that I'm telling myself about why I should be afraid of flipping houses and telling people about it. Now, look at my life today as a multi-millionaire, dozens of properties, living in mansions and Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and all of this stuff. And just think, if I would have just stayed in that fear, if I would have just let my fear consume me. I couldn't. I had to get over those fears. I had to start putting myself out there even more. And how I became a multi-millionaire was not just doing real estate, but now teaching real estate and showing people what I do. So here's the big lesson. You're gonna have to get over your fear, because on the other side of that fear is your millions of dollars. Trust me on this one. All right, let me get back to this video because I got some amazing stuff to share on how to overcome your fears. Wow, so are you feeling some fears? Please comment below and let's talk about it. Obviously, we are all afraid of different things. This is your girl Noelle telling you my real fears and my real vulnerabilities. Comment below and let's have a conversation about it. All right, back to this video. So the second thing that you need to do to overcome your fears is accept that fear is real. You are going to have fears. Like I said, you're going to first practice being uncomfortable. You're going to start doing some of those exercises that I said earlier in this video that teach you to practice being uncomfortable and practice your fears. The second thing is you need to know that fear is going to come and you're going to have to overcome those things and do them anyway. So the first thing, you start to feel that fear. You're going to start breathing. You're going to take 3 deep breaths, 3 long inhales and 3 long exhales. And this works. I know you've heard of these breathing exercises before. They absolutely work. This is something my billionaire mentor taught me. Standing up, holding my hands over my head and breathing. This is what we call a confidence pose. So before I go into interviews or before I go into stages or before I even come out here to make my YouTube videos, I listen to positive motivational things and I get those things going. I stand up, I put my hands over my head and I start breathing. I do my breathing exercises and I say my affirmations. Your affirmations are so important because it's what you tell you. So I tell myself, I am confident, I am strong, I speak well, I am happy, I am loved, I am loving. And I say things that make me feel confident, and I say those things to myself every single day. Just doing those things every morning, looking at the mirror, saying my affirmations, doing my naked exercise as I call it, listening to positive motivational things in the morning, and saying my positive affirmations to myself before I go out to speak or before I do something that scares me just makes me so much more confident, and it really helps me out. Wow, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I have a gift for you. You can get all 4 of my books for free. You just cover the shipping. Go to noellsbookoffer.com. My 4 books teaches you everything that you need to know on how I took my side hustles and turned them into $1 million businesses. Real estate millionaire secrets, business millionaire secrets, B&B millionaire secrets, and Turo millionaire secrets. My amazing side hustles were taken from 6 figures to 7 figures, and all of the information on how I did that is in these books, and again, you can get them absolutely free. That's noellsbookoffer.com. I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.